everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. I'm Jing from Kangaroo Study, and today on our P3 Road to Higher Abilities Learners Math, we're going to look at area. Now, area is a topic under Geometry module, which means that today we're going to play around with some shapes. Of course, it's only just squares and rectangles. Now, without further ado, let's dive right in. Area topic is a very important topic for the past year's GPs. Almost every year, we will have one question. So, let's go. Now, I know that not everyone knows what is area. So, let's start from the beginning and introduce what exactly is area. So, first, let's welcome Mr. Dinosaur. Oh, Mr. Dinosaur is gonna eat me. Now, here we have me and Mr. Dinosaur. So, who here is the taller one? Exactly, your answer would definitely be Mr. Dinosaur. Now, I want to ask you, how much taller is Mr. Dinosaur than me? Now, for us to be able to do this, we must know both our heights first. So, height means how tall someone is. So, let's say I am 200 centimeters. Wow, very tall. And Mr. Dinosaur is 400 centimeters. So tall. So, now we know that Mr. Dinosaur is 400 minus 200, which is 200 centimeters taller than me. Now, let's introduce our another contestant, Mr. Wall. Now, who here is the tallest one? Your answer would definitely still be Mr. Dinosaur. He's so much taller. But if I change my question to who is the biggest one here? Your answer will be Mr. Wall. He's almost half on my screen. So, but then if the question is, how much bigger is Mr. Wall than Mr. Dinosaur and me? Do we know? Yeah, it's very hard for us to find. We only know the height here, but when we talk about how big something is, we can't really find it. Even if we know that Mr. Wall is 300 centimeters tall, but I still don't know how big this Mr. Wall is. So in order to properly have a number of how big something is, we introduce the concept of area. It's just like in our daily lives, we say that, oh, this thing is small, this thing is big. We are always talking about the size of an object. So that is exactly what area is talking about. So area is talking about the size of an object, and length will be how long one object is. Height will be how tall someone is or something is. Okay? So, now let's move on. Now we know that, for example, if I want to measure the length of something, how long my finger is, for example, then I will need to take my ruler and I measure how many centimeters is this. And we know that, for example, this is 1 centimeter. Then we need to measure my finger has how many centimeters. For example, this is 7. Then we know that my finger has 1 centimeters. Now, who decides that this is 1 centimeter then? Now, of course, there's a scientist who decides this. At the same time, there's also a scientist who decides what is area. So let's see. So here we have a square of size 1. All the sides are 1. Okay? And the area of this square is 1. Okay? So this is what the scientists have said. This square is of size 1. So now, this means that if we have a rectangle like this, that is divided into many squares of size 1. All of these squares, these small squares here, are all size 1. So, what is the area of this square then? Of this rectangle? Very good. Yes, it is 8. Very good. 1 square has area 1. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 squares. So the area is 8. But now, this is a very small rectangle. So it's very easy for us to divide and cut it into very small squares of size 1. But if you have a very big rectangle, for example, our Mr. Wall, how am I going to divide them and split them into small squares of size 1? So that's why we need to learn a faster way in order to find the area of these shapes. So let's see here, in one row, how many squares are there? Very good, that's 4. How many rows do I have? 2. So actually, how can I find this 8 here? Exactly, I can take 4 times 2. 1 row, there's 4 squares. 2 rows, there is 8 squares. So just 4 times 2. Amazing. So let's look at one example. If I have this rectangle here, this length of this is 5 and this is 3. So let me ask you, can you tell me how many squares can I fit in one row here? Keep in mind that the side here is of 1 and here is 5. So we can put, yes, we can put 5 squares in there. Very good. There's 5 squares here. Now, how many rows are there? Here it is 3, and this side is 1, so we can put 3 rows. Amazing. So, 1 row, there's 5 squares. 3 rows, there's how many squares? Exactly, there is 5 times 3 equals 15 squares. So, the area will be 15. Amazing. Now, let's try with a square then. What is the area of this square? Exactly, very good. It's 5 times 5, which is 25. Amazing. So, it's the same thing. Here we can fit 5 squares, and this is 5. So, here we also can fit 5 squares. Amazing. Now, let's see here. This is a rectangle. What do we call this 5 here? Yes, it is called the length of the rectangle. What do we call this 3 here? It is the width of a rectangle. Now, what about a square? What do we call this side here? It is just simply called a side here. So, in summary, the area of a rectangle is length times width. The length times width, and area of a square is just simply side times side. Now, we are ready to move on to our question here. So, the question below wants to find the area of this figure below. But then I have one question here. Is this a rectangle? It is not. It's very close to a rectangle, but it seems like we are missing one part. So, how can I solve this? This is not any regular shape that we know of. So, if let's say I want to change it into a big rectangle, what should I need to do? Yes, I will need to add back this removed part. So let's try to do it. Yes, and now I would have my big rectangle here. So what is the area of this big rectangle? The area of the rectangle is length times width. So it is very good. It is 10 times 6, which is 60. Amazing. But now, in reality, I don't have this whole rectangle. I have only this remaining part, where this square thing is removed. So what should I do here? I know the area of the whole thing. So what should I do to find this area of this small one? Now, can I find the area of this small square here? Yes, I can. What is the area? Very good. It's 2 times 2, which equals to 4. Now, I know the area of this big one, and I know the area of this small one. I have to find the remaining area. What should I do? Yes, I just take the whole area minus of this part here. Very good. So we just take 60 minus 4, which is 56. So what is this concept? Now this is called whole. Take the whole area minus of this black part. Then we can find the area of this remaining one. So it's whole minus blank. Very good, everyone. Now, is there another way that we can solve this? Of course, there's another way that we can solve this. Now, just now we said that we only know how to calculate the area of rectangles and squares. And just now we changed this into a rectangle. Now, is there any other way? Instead of changing into a rectangle, can we make rectangles? Now, you see here, if I cut it this way, then I can form rectangles. 1 rectangle and 2 rectangles. So, what is the length of this part then? Here is the whole thing is 10, this is 2. So if I cut off this, then it will be left with 10 minus 2 is 8. Amazing, so this will be 8. So what about this part here? Here, this is 2. This whole thing is 6. So this part will be 6 minus 2 equals 4. Amazing. So this is 4. So now do we know how to calculate the area of these rectangles? Of course. Come, tell me, what is the area of this rectangle? Very good. It's just simply 4 times 2. What about the area of this big rectangle? Yes, it is 8 times 6. Amazing. So what is the total area of this shape? Amazing. We just need to take 48 plus 8. Perfect. And it will be 56. It's the same as our previous answer. So this method is we can just cut this diagram into regular shapes. So there's 2 methods that we learned. So let's take a very quick summary of everything that we learned today. So first thing that we learned is that area is talking about the size of an object. You're talking about the size. How big, how small. And area of a rectangle is the length times width. And square is side times side. And finally, to solve this question here, we can take whole, the whole rectangle, make it into a big rectangle and minus off this blank part. Or we can also cut the diagram into regular shapes. So that will be all. Thank you all for listening here. So here is my WhatsApp QR code. So feel free to scan and contact me for any questions. I will help you solve it. And here will be our 2026 P3 study group. Feel free to scan and join. I will send many education resources for GP, HAL, and just more SNKC and many more. So that will be all for today. I'm Teacher Miguel on Kangaroo Study. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.